I would like to take this time with you to encourage you to dream a bigger dream. To dream, dare, and do. I remember Oprah Winfrey once said to me, God always has a bigger dream. I remember every day of the filming of The Pursuit of Happiness. And one of the most important scenes in the film for me was a scene that we shot on the basketball court. What you saw in the film was not what was written. Our writer, Steve Conrad, has a very dark view of the world. And when that little boy threw up that ball and said, I'm going pro, it was written that the father says, don't ever let me hear you say you're going to do that. I could never do it, so that means you would never be any good at it. I'll never forget that day. I went up to Will Smith on the set and I said, you can't tell that to that little boy. You can't tell that to that little boy because that's not what my mother told me. I was raised to believe that you could do or be anything that you wanted to do or be. That's what my mother told me. And apparently I took it too far. I made up my mind as a young man, my first ambition in life, I was going to be Miles Davis. Mama said I could be anybody. I chose Miles. I studied music theory, played trumpet for 9 years. I got pretty good. People would ask me as a little boy, what you gonna be when you grow up? Man, I'm gonna be Miles Davis. My mama heard me say it one time too many, and one day we sat down and had what I call the talk. And she explained to me, she said, son, you're pretty good with that thing, baby, but you can't be Miles Davis, ain't but one, and he got that job. And when your mama put it to you like that, you got to feel that. And I had to look at the facts. At 18 years of age, Miles Davis was in New York City playing with Quincy Jones and John Coltrane. At the same age, I was playing with some boys named Pookie and Ray Ray. We were good, but it wasn't going to happen. The point I'm trying to make is I made in my mind as a young guy, I wanted to become world class at something. And as a young man and a child of the 60s, I remember Dr. Martin Luther King once saying, I believe to a group of sanitation workers or community folks in Memphis, Tennessee, whatever it is you're going to become the best at it. If you're going to be a garbage man, be the best garbage man. I remember that as a young man. I'll never forget that in the rest of my life. And one of the things I want to stress to you again here today is to dream, dare, and do. That scene again on that basketball court, Will and I talked about it. He saw my view. We tore up the script right there on the spot, and what we wrote was, don't ever let somebody else tell you what you can't do. If you got a dream, you got to protect it. And if you know what you want in life, you got to go do it. But you also got to do the work. You got to be clear, consistent, compelled, and consistent again. You could never do too much work.